Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fairyland Stories channel. Today we're diving into a timeless tale that has been told for generations. A story about wit, hard work, and the importance of building a strong foundation. Gather round because it's time for the story of the three little pigs. Once upon a time, nestled in a cozy little cottage, lived a mother pig with her three adorable little piglets. As they grew, her home became a bit too small, and she knew it was time for them to venture out into the big, wide world and build their own futures. With a kiss and a loving farewell, she sent them on their way, advising them to always do their best in whatever they chose to do. The first little pig, full of excitement, trotted merrily down the road. He hadn't gone far when he met a farmer carrying a large bundle of golden straw. "Oh, that looks perfect," thought the little pig. "It'll be so quick and easy to build a house with that." He politely asked the farmer, "Excuse me, sir, could you please spare some of that straw? I'd like to build a house for myself." The kind farmer agreed, and the first little pig quickly got to work. In no time at all, he had built a cozy little house of straw. He was very pleased with himself and settled in for a nap. It wasn't long before a shadow fell over his new home. A big, bad wolf came strolling by. He sniffed the air and his eyes gleamed when he saw the straw house. A little pig for lunch," he thought. He knocked on the door with a loud thud. Little pig, let me come in," he growled. The little pig peeked through a crack and trembled. No, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin," he squeaked. The wolf grinned wickedly. "Then I'll huff and I'll blow your house in," he roared. He took a deep breath and let out a mighty gust of wind. Whoosh! The straw house flew apart in every direction. The terrified little pig squealed and ran as fast as his little legs could carry him, heading straight for his brother's new home. Now, the second little pig was a bit more thoughtful. He had walked a little further down the road and met a woodcutter with a bundle of sturdy sticks. "Sticks are much stronger than straw," he thought. "This will make a fine house." So he asked the man, "Please, sir, could I have some of those sticks to build my house?" The man gave him a generous pile, and the second pig set to work, lashing and tying the sticks together until he had a handsome wooden house. He was just admiring his handiwork when his younger brother came rushing in, completely out of breath. The wolf, he blew my house down," he cried. "Don't worry, brother," said the second pig confidently. "You're safe here. My house is made of strong sticks. He won't get through this one." But they had barely settled in when they heard a familiar, menacing knock on the door. Little pigs, let me come in," snarled the wolf from outside. Feeling a bit braver together, the two pigs shouted, "No, not by the hair on our chinny chin chins." "Then I'll huff and I'll blow your house in," the wolf bellowed. He took a giant breath, even bigger than before, and blew with all his might. Creak, crack, splinter. The house of sticks shuddered and swayed, and with another powerful puff, it collapsed into a heap of firewood. The two little pigs scrambled from the wreckage and ran for their lives, their hearts pounding in their chests. They had only one place left to go. The third little pig was the most patient and diligent of them all. He had travelled the furthest down the road until he came across a bricklayer with a heavy cart full of strong red bricks. "Aha," he said to himself, "this is exactly what I need. A house of bricks will be strong and safe forever." He approached the man and asked, "Sir, would you be willing to sell me some of your bricks? I want to build a house that will last." The man was impressed by the pig's foresight and gave him a good load of bricks. The third pig worked tirelessly. He mixed mortar, laid each brick carefully, and built a solid, sturdy house with a strong wooden door and a tall chimney. It took him a lot longer than his brothers, but when he was finished, he knew he had built a true home. Just as he was putting the finishing touches on his fireplace, there was a frantic knocking at his door. He opened it to find his two brothers, pale and shivering with fear. "The wolf. He blew down both our houses. Can we please hide here?" they pleaded. "Of course. Come in quickly," said the third pig. "You are safe with me. My house is built to withstand anything. But listen, that wolf will be here soon. We need a plan to get rid of him for good." So the three clever pigs put their heads together and devised a brilliant plan. Sure enough, the heavy footsteps of the big bad wolf soon approached. He pounded on the brick door. Little pigs, let me in," he demanded, his voice dripping with frustration. From inside, the third pig called out boldly, "No, no, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The wolf laughed, thinking this would be just as easy. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," he roared, angrier than ever. He huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed. He huffed and puffed and huffed and puffed until he was red in the face and completely out of breath. But the brick house didn't even tremble. Not a single brick moved. The wolf was exhausted and furious. He realized he couldn't blow the house down, but he wasn't going to give up. He looked up and saw the chimney. "I'll sneak down the chimney and catch them all," he schemed. He quietly crept onto the roof and started to climb down into the dark chimney. But the three little pigs were ready for him. Following their plan, they had quickly hung a large kettle full of water over the roaring fire in the fireplace. Just as the wolf slid down the inside of the chimney, the third little pig whisked the lid off the kettle. A huge cloud of hot steam billowed up the chimney. The wolf's howl could be heard for miles as the hot steam hit him. He shot back up the chimney like a rocket, his tail singed and his pride completely shattered. He tumbled off the roof and ran away as fast as he could, yelping all the way into the woods. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Those clever pigs. I'll never go near that brick house again. And he never did. The big bad wolf learned his lesson and never bothered the three little pigs again. As for the pigs, the first two learned a valuable lesson about the importance of hard work and planning ahead. They all lived together happily and safely ever after in the strong little house made of bricks. And that's the story of the three little pigs. It just goes to show that taking your time and doing a job right is always the best way. Thanks so much for watching with us today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another adventure. See you next time.